Yes.
Lion face.
Lemon face. I'm gonna Sharpay it.
Hi, I'm Dana, and we have a guest. I don't know why I made it sound exciting. This is going to be the most miserable and serious video that I've made yet, to be honest with you, because we have a situation, and as much as I try to keep videos light and friendly and upbeat, and obviously Winter's the most funny American, which didn't say much. Winter took me to America, and it was the best trip ever, and everyone has to take a friend to visit their homeland, it's the law. And on the way back, your wheelchair, because you're a wheelchair user, I don't know if we ever mentioned that and you've only seen them sitting down, but like, you get around with a wheelchair, and they fucked it.
Yeah, so we had the very long flight back from the States, and it was Aer Lingus from California to Dublin, and then Dublin to Manchester. And the flight attendants on the longer flight, lovely as they could be, tried to help, was trying to do things, was trying to make things as easy for us as they could.
The last guy was an airport person as well. They're like all the people that were actually assisting us in like
any of the assistance people were great. But when we were flying back, how I work with my wheelchair is I'm a mixed mobility user, which means I can get up out of my chair. I can walk very short distances. If it's familiar area, I know where I'm going, and it's like I can walk from here to the restroom by myself.
And also when it's a case of like you can get up and walk a few steps, and like yes, you might be in pain, it might not be the easiest, but it's either that or this like weird, humiliating fucking aisle chair getting dragged through the fucking plane.
So I can walk holding on to the backs of the chairs in an airplane from the door of the airplane to where my chair is. And then usually we're right near the front anyway, so it's not too many steps. But like on an airplane I can get up and go to the restroom carefully holding on to stuff. So it's not that my legs don't work, it's that my spine doesn't work, and that's a whole different set of problems.
And that meant that your chair was put in with luggage instead of being on the plane.
Well, they can't put it in the plane because of how big it is. So the type of chair I have is a power chair, so it's an electric wheelchair, and it does collapse down, and it's got lithium batteries. So it's the right size and everything to travel. So I took it with me to the States, and I took it with me back. So I take my chair all the way down to the gate of the airplane itself. It doesn't check with luggage. It goes to the gate of the airplane. I collapse it down myself. I take the batteries out. The batteries go on the airplane with me. The chair right then should be picked up and put in last in the airplane, so it's on top and it's safe.
We were quite often speaking directly to the people that were loading the luggage into the airplanes as well, so the people that were doing it knew.
They knew. They know that wheelchair goes in last, so it's on top, so it's safe with other mobility aids. And then, in theory, that should come out first, so that way I can get back on it to go in between flights for a layover, or to go to, like, baggage claim. That is often not the case. So, we had the longer flight from California. This is my cat.
Layla!
This is, you've all met Oatman in Dana's videos. This is Layla. This is my service cat. She's a fully trained service cat. Yeah, she loves Dana more than me.
I just need her more.
So, from California to Dublin, everything was okay. I took my wheelchair up to the airline, like to the airplane itself, took my batteries out, collapsed the chair down. I, with my cane, got on the airplane. They put it on last. And then in Dublin, they got my chair out first, and then set it up so I could go to the layover from Dublin to Manchester. So my wheelchair was working perfectly fine in Dublin.
Yeah.
Like there was no problem. We had to go through, like, that's where you go through TSA, that's where you go through passport security check. We went the length of that airport. It was fine. The wheelchair was perfectly fine.
Dublin was also the one where we had like the longer travel, and we also had to go down the hallway and stuff, and your chair like wasn't...
Yeah, it was perfect. Yeah. It was normal the way it should be. Nothing wrong with the chair. We can confirm it was perfect at that point. And then from Dublin to Manchester, we had this itty-bitty little puddle jumper trait. We had a puddle hopper plane. Now I gotta say the right word. It was a puddle hopper plane is what they're called. Very, very tiny airplane. And it was just very squished and very small. And the people loading that wheelchair did not care about anything. They were clearly in a rush. They were having a hard time. It was much more difficult for me because they kept wanting me to leave my chair somewhere other than where it was supposed to be.
They also seemed like there were people talking, and you have this weird thing where if you like go through any accessibility channels, you essentially see like the weird behind the scenes. And, like, they were chatting and they were very, like, is it all even gonna fit? We need to, like, redistribute. Like, there were just all sorts of issues with them loading the luggage onto the set, like, the last airplane.
Yeah. So, apparently they had issues with too much luggage and overbooking spots. Every single seat on this tiny airplane was filled. Every single seat. And I usually book 2 seats, because I need to lean like this for my spine to be okay. And it was, like, so small that we couldn't do that anyway. Even though, like, you pay more for it, it didn't matter. Every single seat, like, they had overbooked the airplane anyway. Every single seat was filled. And it was a huge to-do about, like, my wheelchair collapses down with the backpack attached to the back of it, and the backpack stays on the back of it. And they had told me, we need you to take the backpack off. And I was like, okay, that's fine, but the backpack is also the protection for the chair, so I'll collapse it down. Please be careful with it. And they said, yeah, sure, that's fine. But it was very kind of blow off, yeah, sure, that's fine. And the backpack that goes on the back of my wheelchair, we took onto the airplane, and they found somewhere to put it on the airplane, and then they collapsed down my chair. We had the short hop from Dublin to Manchester, and when we got out of Manchester, we had to wait an extra hour, I think.
It was ages.
It was, like, everyone else was gone. But this was the last plane in, and everyone else was gone.
Like, it's meant to be, like, if you need a layover or anything, you will be able to get there. And, like, we were waiting way beyond what
we were waiting over an hour. And my chair, again, should be the last thing on, so it's the first thing off, so it's safe. We had to wait an hour because it was at the bottom of all the luggage, which is not what you do with mobility aids, and it goes against their protocols anyway. But apparently, when they had redistributed things to fit on the airplane, my wheelchair was on the bottom. We immediately saw the problem when we put the wheelchair back up, but at that point, we were waiting so long, nobody was around. There was none of the airplane staff around. There was none of the flight attendants around. There was one guy who's the guy who brought the wheelchair up. And this one guy had no idea what was going on. And also, a thing to keep in mind at this point, we had just flown 18 hours with a 10-hour drive the day before, and I was in so much pain from 18-hour flights when I am not supposed to be sitting. I'm supposed to be laying down because of my spine damage.
It was the thing of, like, you sat down and you were so relieved, and the moment the chair moved, we were both like,
no.
Something's...
Yeah, because I have to plug it all up with the batteries and everything, and
it didn't immediately look like there was anything wrong.
But there was something wrong, and you could see it.
And
like, you could feel it.
Like, it looked... Just the way you were moving didn't look right, and you could obviously feel it, and then as you started going ahead of me, it was almost immediate that I was like, your wheels are buckled, your wheels aren't straight.
Yeah, so we're with the one guy who has to walk us out, because if you're with accessibility, one person stays with you until you're past luggage claim. Nobody else is around at all. He brings the wheelchair out, I hook it all back up and everything. I sit down on it, and I'm sitting, and immediately the chair goes boom, and kind of, like, hunches a bit, and I can feel it settle, and I was like, oh, my chair's never done that before.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel right, but okay. Maybe it's just something clicking weird.
We hadn't put it back out properly.
I thought maybe like we didn't click it. I don't know, but it felt weird. And we are in so much pain at this point from flying that long. Like 18 hours is a long time, let alone if you have chronic pain. You're not in your right mind, you're out of it. So I was like, hey, something seems wrong with the chair, to the guy who's walking with us. And he's like, oh, but does it go? And I was like, yeah, it seems to go. He goes, okay, well, just keep an eye out for it. And he's walking with us, mind. So we walk down to where, like, kind of the baggage claim is, and as I'm going, you can see the wheels are supposed to be parallel like this. They're tilted. That is a solid steel frame. It should not be able to be tilted.
You'd gone ahead a little bit because I was looking at your wheels, and I'd said, like, do we need to go and speak to someone about this? Like, is there somewhere we need to go now? And he's like, oh, it's all right for now.
Yeah. Like, he blew us off then, and then when we got down to luggage claim, I was like, hey, there's a problem with the wheels. You can see they're tilted. And he goes, oh, I don't see it. And I was like, I can feel it. I can see it. And he's like, oh, well, I don't see a problem. He's like, there is a problem with the wheelchair, though. Is there somewhere I can, like, report this? Because
I was also saying it because we often have the thing of, like, ask the person that's walking, they listen to me.
Yeah.
And
he just said, no, let's see. So typically, like, when we got there, something had fallen off my chair, and there's immediately a counter where you go and you fill out a little form that says, here's the problem, here's this, and they get in contact with you and all that stuff. And I said, is there somewhere I can report a problem with my chair? And he goes, oh, well, it seems like it works just fine, and it's late enough to where all the counters are closed, so there's no one you can go to because everything's closed now, because it's so late at night. So if there's a problem with your chair, get an engineer's report, and then because there's an engineer's report from, like, the manufacturers, then we can do a write-up then, because it's closed now, it's too late at night, it's closed. And at this point, again, we had been flying for 18 hours. It is late at night. We are so tired. We're in pain. And my chair is going. So it's like, okay, if your protocol is if it goes, then get an engineer's report first, which he said that's the protocol. It's like, if the office is closed, you get a report, and then we'll file it when you have a report that there's a problem.
So we had 2 people tell us, like, don't worry about this right now. If it gets worse,
get an engineer's
if it
report.
continues to be an issue, then you come back and tell us that. Like,
Yeah.
when you know.
2 separate people
Don't
told
do
us
it
this. So we went home, and then over the next couple days, it was very apparent the wheels are fully tilted. Like, they're tilted. And I got in contact with the manufacturer of the wheelchair, who's been absolutely amazing. They always have been, which is why I went with that company in the first place.
Which manufacturer is that?
It's Easy Light. They're amazing. They're so good.
We love
Easy Light. If I could get another one of like their, I would just stay with this company if I could. They're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But they got back to me pretty quickly and said like, hey, can you show us pictures of the wheelchair so we can see what's going on, and we'll send that over to our engineers team. So I took pictures of the wheels, we took a little video of the wheels, showing where the tilt is and showing it, sent that over. A few days later, they got back to us, and the official engineer report was, this chair is no longer safe for you to use. They said that for the steel frame of the chair to be warped as much as it was, there must have been over 600 pounds of bouncing direct pressure on top of the wheelchair, and that it was not humanly possible for me to have done this accidentally.
I hated reading that email because they first off made it very, very obvious that like there is no way a person, like a single person or like a group of people even has caused this damage. Like it is.
We could have both jumped on it and it wouldn't have done that.
But like the general vibe of what does make me as an outsider, I think it's a good company, was that they were very like, we understand you need to use this, but it's literally not safe to. Like we get that you're gonna, but it's not safe.
Yeah.
Like it's very light.
They made it very clear where it's we understand you don't have a different chair right now. See if the airline will provide a temporary chair because it's not safe. And they straight up said, if I continue to use the chair because the wheels are tilted, eventually it's just going to buckle out from under me. The wheels are supposed to be like this. Right now they're like this. Eventually I'm going to hit a ridge, I'm going to hit a curb, and it's going to do this. And my chair is going to completely collapse underneath of me. And I will get hurt. I will get hurt. There's no way you can't get hurt if that chair is falling. It's going to hurt. And then everything I've got is going to be broken.
The way that it's going to fall, how you're going to fall, the way that everything... I don't know how the fuck you're going to then get that somewhere.
I can't get that somewhere. That's the thing. I will be stuck on the side of the road with nowhere to physically take my things in my chair or my chair. I will be stuck with a broken, huge piece of metal that I will then have to get like a black cab or something and toss it in. And I don't know how we're even going to get it in that. Like, I don't know.
I'm very, very scared about it because I think it is going to be a case of, like, when it eventually goes, which it will, it's going to be, like, me and Dimitri have to come and fucking pick you up and get an Uber. And, like, it's going to be a fucking nightmare. It's going to be horrible. You're probably going to...
I'm going to be in pain. Yeah. It's going to be bad. So we then... Exactly what the airport said to do. Aer Lingus had said, when you have an engineer's report and you know that there's a problem and you know it was caused by this, let us know if that's the case. So I wrote a whole long email to them where it was, hey, there's a problem with the wheelchair. Here's the dates of my flights. At the day you told me, like, it was this late at night. The place where you register problems was closed. You said to get back to us with an engineer's report. I've just gotten the engineer's report today. It was this flight. Here's the proof from the engineers. It was this flight. I'm gonna need you guys to replace my wheelchair and get me like a temporary chair because it's not safe for me to use, and I'm pretty much homebound because I can walk a couple meters at best. I can't walk to Tesco's and back. I can't do that. And they sent me back an email after 2 weeks that says, because you didn't write a report at the airport and it's been past 7 days, because it takes more than 7 days to get an engineer's report from another country, then you fall outside of our policy. There's nothing we can do or will do. Saws. So they said because I didn't write it up at the airport, which they told me not to do, and there was... Two separate people told us not to.
And it would be fine.
And there was no one there. There was no desk for me to go to. It's not like they were trying to avoid me. It's that it was closed. There was nobody there.
It was an 18-hour flight. We'd been awake for, like 26 hours or something. Like...
Yeah. And there was not a booth there. It's not a no, don't go bug the people. There was no people.
Like, there was no one to bug. We didn't have, like, the mental fucking stability to be bugging people, even if there had been. We did try to bug people, and they reassured us, and, like...
They said, get an engineer's report.
Like it would be absolutely okay to contact them about it.
Nobody ever mentioned a 7-day time limit. They said, get an engineer's report. And now we get because you didn't do one at the airport, and it's past 7 days, not our problem. Which goes completely against what 2 separate people had told us. I then went to a disability coalition that's around here that helps with like filling out paperwork and advocating for this type of thing. They have been trying their damnedest to try to help, and they have been blocked at every path, with the airport pretty much saying no. They got a solicitor involved, and the solicitor said because the flight was from Dublin to Manchester, that was an inside EU flight, which means it falls under EU laws and not American laws, where the first flight would have fallen under American laws. That chair is, just for me to get the chair, was $2,500. And that was the cheaper end of the chair. On the engineer's report from Easy Light, they are giving me like discounts and stuff, which is nice because I think they're doing what they can. Yeah. And they're like, we're going to give you a free battery. We won't even charge you for shipping, which is amazing because I think they like, they're going to ship it from the States for me, which is insane because that's like a good another $600. But they're like, the base that it will be is $3,000, including the custom fees that go to the country that we can't help. So to replace my chair with just the same chair I had that was in perfect working order is £3,000. And the most that the airline would be liable for is $1,000, even if they were deemed liable. Which they are saying they are not because we didn't report it within 7 days. I have spent since then, because this is the end of March. April, May, June, it's been 4 months of this. Which is why I haven't been in any other videos. I've been stuck at home miserable and in pain. I can't leave my home.
Like, that's the thing, is like...
I can't leave home.
For any of us, it's frustrating enough when something that we own gets broken when it's not us that broke it. Like, it's already fucking frustrating and annoying.
This is my legs.
It's your legs. It's
this
a mobility aid. It's not just like some fun little thing. It's not something that's kind of important. It's essentially a part of your body. It's the thing that means that your body works.
I can't go to the grocery store. I can't get food. I have to pay extra for delivery for it's costing so much money. I can't get anything. I can't go anywhere. Not to mention like the events I've missed, but events aside, I don't leave my house. I'm supposed to be starting uni soon and I can't get to campus. And I'm going to have to put off my postgraduate degree because I can't get to uni.
I also I'm sorry to put this into you, but it's also the thing of like, how long? You know? Like, at some point, this chair is going to break. Like, we can do bits and pieces and we can try our best for now. It's not going to last. It's not going to be a long-term sustainable solution. And as such, like, we do not have money and mobility aids are very, very fucking expensive. So that's where we come back around to this being, like, the most serious and, like,
so
of video I've made.
At the end of it now, the solicitors have now said after this time, they can't make the airline liable. Because we were actively misinformed, and if you don't do one at the airport, then it doesn't count. And they can pull out the forms that you fill from the back room. You don't need to have the desk open. They should have done something. I can't go anywhere. I'm mostly stuck at home. I can't go grocery shopping. I can't...
Like, even when you do go to, like, an event or a fun thing, there's just all the extra added anxiety, like, what am I going to do if it goes now? What?
I went to a friend's wedding, because I was supposed to be officiating for my friend's wedding 2 weeks after this happened. And I was like, okay, we'll see how the chair goes. And as I use it for things that I have to leave home for, like if I have to go to the doctor's, if I have to go to some event, if there's some big thing I have to do or that's pre-planned that I've prepaid for.
You're aware that Winter goes with me to like the majority of my appointments and makes my phone calls and stuff. Like they're essentially my carer at this point, and I can't do that stuff if they're not there.
We haven't been able to do any of your medical stuff in 4 months. Either of our medical stuff in 4 months. That's great. But every time we do, the chair rides wrong. I can feel it. I can feel it bending. And every time I go up a curb, you can feel it going just a little bit more.
It's the like, you either have to fucking zoom and I'm like jogging to keep up, or it's going so slowly that I'm like...
And then it force stops on me.
Should I push you at this point? Like,
no. We tried to go down to, there's a mobility shop that sells chairs like 4 or 5 blocks down from my house. So we went there today to just go look at what chairs they have to see if I could find some type of equivalent or something. And my chair stopped working on the way there. So to get back home with just my chair working for 4 blocks, when it used to work for 6 hours at a time all day at Comic-Cons, to get 4 blocks, it stopped working and I had to go full power with it because otherwise there's so much strain now from the wheels, it cannot draw enough power from the battery to make up for the added strain. Unless I go full on, and then I get about 10-15 minutes before it just stops.
It's also, like, for me as someone who, like, visibly sees it a lot more often than you do, it is visibly getting worse. Like, when we first looked at it in the airport, I was like, I'm pretty sure they're buckled. I'm fairly certain.
And now it's
like, they are buckled. Like, you are not, like, it looks like a design choice of the chair. Like, they are so obviously buckled. It is clearly getting worse every time it's used.
Every time I have to go up a bump or go...
So
it's bad.
It's bad, and as such, we are now at a point where we're going to be setting up a GoFundMe. No one wants that.
I don't know how to do this, and I hate this. And
okay. I'm gonna YouTube this bit. You're good.
I know, it's just...
You don't got it, it's okay.
The airline should be doing this.
Obviously.
We shouldn't have to be doing this.
Other people should be fucking paying for the thing that they broke, but they are not. And Winter is now at a point of losing independence and like just not being able to fucking get around and be a person because they don't have the thing that allows them to be a person. So obviously that needs to be solved and remedied, and every disabled person deserves the fucking mobility aids that they need and deserve.
And then we're lobbying for these laws to change, because fuck this and fuck Aer Lingus.
Mostly fuck Aer Lingus, tweet them, fucking Instagram posts and whatever people do these days. I'm mad at them and I will be doing the same.
I specifically don't have social media and don't do social things because the job I do is under NDA, so I keep things really locked down. And do you know how shit it feels that the second time I get to do something fun on your channel, it's for this? Like, this feels terrible.
Like, it fucking sucks and no one wants to be in this type of situation. But we need a chair. We do.
I'll
be attaching
how,
to the back.
how am I gonna just hang on?
You will see me learn how to rollerblade. Being taught
with the aid of a wheelchair.
User. I feel so
we'll make a mini series.
I thought this was so funny and now I'm trying to bribe people to donate to me.
To be fair, that's a really fun video.
It would be.
And I would do it.
Offering it as a bribe. But it is. It is a bribe. Completely. But, like, more to the point, if anybody has a little something that they can give, it is something that we need to get sorted. It is something that needs to be done. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's...
We're also gonna we'll have a GoFundMe link with, like, a QR code and a link. If somebody can't donate, perfectly fine, because we're broke too.
It's a cost of living crisis. Like,
we're broke. That's why we're in this situation. But if you have like a university group or Facebook groups or any place that, like, say you have TikTok people or
rich Auntie Mabel.
if you have any like community groups that you think might be able to help, please at least spread the link, and then maybe enough people here or there throughout various communities will be able to pitch in a little bit. We're also going to be doing some stuff over here. There's a couple communities.
There's going to be some Liverpool-based stuff.
Okay, I was like, did you say what city you live in?
Yeah.
So there's going to be some Liverpool groups that, like, there's some stuff at, like, some local coffee shops that we do stuff with.
We're very lucky that you're very friendly and talk to lots of people and know people.
It's because I'm American, and now that's hurt me because I came over here and now I'm broken. We may be able to do less for that. We found a chair today that seemed really good, that was the right size, and that was $2,300.
I was gonna say, like, it's still like $2,500.
Yeah,
like,
but it's
so
2.5 is better
money.
than 3. 2.5 is better than 3. Anything we can do. So I won't be able to get the same chair with a good company.
If you want to beg any companies to give us a free chair, and then no one has to pay.
Hey, Easy Light. I love you guys so much. You've been the best chair. If you guys want a promo, send me a chair. I will make you so many videos. I will make you all the promo that you could possibly want, Easy Light. Your chairs are amazing. You've been amazing.
I'll give Win to this channel with all the subscribers.
I don't want it.
I could also promote you myself if you wanted.
We will do. Hey, Easy Light, if you want, if you've got a social media person,
I will personally thank you at the start of every video I make for the rest of my life.
Same. We found a chair that would work for $2,500 versus $3,000, so it's something.
So, like, if you guys are cheap, we've got a backup. I feel very, very awkward having to do this.
This feels so bad. This feels so bad. We're coping with dark humor because this feels terrible.
I very genuinely feel like I'm on X Factor telling you that me nana died so I can sing. Like,
this does feel like the little booth that people on Big Brother go into to talk.
Literally. It feels like I'm giving my sob story to the British public.
You know when you go on those cooking shows and they do the sob story before they'll move you on to the final round? This feels like that. But yeah, as much as this sucks, if anyone could help, we would appreciate it. Because then I can leave my house and I can keep Dana healthy. So yeah, little action plan for you guys. If you can
do anything towards Air Lingus' social media and tell them they're bastards, essentially. That'd be fab. Try to see if we can make them pay, because they should, because they broke it.
Even then, they're only liable for up to 1,000, but that would be 1,000.
It's 1,000 more than we got. If you don't want to do that, if you could just share it in general, like share the GoFundMe that we're gonna have, share this video if you fancy it, I guess. Just get other people to see it would be fabulous. And obviously, if you've got cash laying around for some reason, send it us. It could be mine.
Baby, we spend all of our money on each other anyway.
I was gonna make a joke about how I'll steal all the money, and then I was like, if I had $3,000, I'd just
you just give it to me. You would just get me a chair anyway.
Oh.
Thank you for your help.
Like, there's a few bits of this that I probably should edit out for it to be more professional.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to, because I at least want it to be honest. Like, if I'm gonna be out here literally asking people for money, I at least want you to see that it is like a genuine, honest thing, and like, I'd rather it's perhaps not the most professional thing in the world in order to get
that's the
that
thing.
far.
This isn't a professional, like, fundraising thing. This is just people that need fucking help. And at least I didn't get off topic talking about Disneyland like I did last video. This time it's just about how terrible Lingus is.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about Disneyland?
No, because now I can't get back there because I can't walk.
You couldn't fucking walk in the first place.
I can't roll.